Shalom, my name is Michael Decker and I'm a lawyer within the law offices of Decker, Peck, Sophie & Co. Today, under the topic of U.S. immigration, we wanted to discuss a very unpleasant situation that unfortunately many Israelis encounter, and that is regarding entry refusals to the United States, basically not being granted a visa, due to what we refer to here in Israel as a black stamp. So with us today is Rebecca Mordecai. She's an expert in U.S. immigration. Rebecca, how basically do you get this unpleasant black stamp or entry refusal to the U.S.? Can you give us some examples where people get this?
Yeah, so normally it would be a black stamp will happen because you've overstayed your visa. So for example, a tourist visa is given, you're allowed to enter each time for 6 months. And if you would overstay by another 6 months, so you'd stay a total for a year, it would be considered overstay that you'd get a black stamp for. If you overstay by a year total, so that's a year. If you overstay by a year, so that's a year and a half total on the visa, you would get a black stamp for 10 years. So that means you're not allowed to enter the US for 10 years.
Wow, that sounds harsh. So basically, you do not recommend at all that anyone overstays his visa in the USA under no circumstances because they're risking getting this black stamp.
Yeah, it's really important to check how long you have left on your visa and make sure you keep on top of that and you have your flight booked so you won't overstay. If for some reason you need to stay longer in the US, you can file for an extension of status. There's a specific form that you would need to fill out for that and file it in time. USCIS do recommend that you file the form at least 45 days before your status is going to end.
Wow. Thank you very much, Rebecca, for that. I also wanted to discuss a bit, if that's okay, how to cancel this black stamp. We have clients that come to us in very embarrassing situations because basically many Israelis after the army travel around the world. Many of them find themselves in the United States. Just as an experience, after the army, before getting married, before settling, and they work in the United States. Some of them then overstay their visa, and today they're in a totally different place in life. Most of them are married, they have kids. Some of them are very successful. Some of them are CEOs in leading Israeli companies with very high salaries and very respected positions. But they have this black stamp. And then the company wants to send them to the United States to a business trip. And they're in a very unpleasant and embarrassing situation. They come to us. They don't want us to tell anyone in their company about it. And they ask us for solutions on how to cancel this black stamp. What would you advise people like this?
Yeah, so you brought up a good example because one of the other reasons for getting a black stamp besides for overstay is also for working illegally in the US, so that'd be working under a tourist visa. And sometimes people don't even realize that they were working illegally in the Agalot, selling like Dead Sea products. They don't even realize that what they were doing was illegal until later on. What I would advise someone in that type of situation is to firstly check if they would be eligible for a work visa or a green card application. It's a lot easier to ask for a waiver, so that would be you'd be required to ask for a waiver if you wanted to go against the US during that period that you weren't allowed in. So during the 10 years, 3 years, however long it was, you would require a waiver. So that is more likely to be approved if it's as part of a work visa application or a green card application.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, and thank you very much, viewers, for your time and patience. If this is relevant to you, of course, you can contact us and we'll be happy to assist. And you can also contact us for any additional question or clarification you might have.